What's up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of WWE Fight Pit here at House Call Sports. My name is Sammy, that is Justin, and today on episode 6 of the Fight Pit, we will be discussing King and Queen of the Ring predictions, along with Braun Breaker's all of a sudden new sense of direction. Before we get into that, though, a quick word from Vivid Seats. Ladies and gentlemen, Vivid Seats is the most trustworthy and easy to navigate ticketing website. They have reliable and rewarding tickets and a 100% buyer guarantee, which means your transactions will be safe and secure. You will get full service customer care and be compensated for any canceled events. And it's got the only ticket rewarding program around. All that means is any WWE live event, Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, PLE, whatever you want to go to, Vivid Seats is the place to go. Get your tickets at Vivid Seats. Hit the link in the description and go sit vividly. Justin. King and Queen of the Ring just around the corner. You gotta love it. You really do gotta love it. It's been a very long time since the King of the Ring has meant something in the WWE, and the WWE has done a very, very good job of having it really headline episodes of SmackDown and episodes of Monday Night Raw. The women getting their shine as well. I mean, that match between Lyra Valkyria and Io Sky on Monday Night Raw, it proved to be a draw. It brought in 100,000 more fans than the rest of the episodes. So anybody saying that the women aren't a draw, they're just lying to themselves. Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax was a similar thing too. So quite frankly, I'm over the women aren't a draw thing. I think it's very clear that they are. But with that being said, I think it's time to get into some predictions for this King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view, or PLE rather. But before we get into that, I thought it'd be a great idea to discuss something very interesting that happened in Monday Night Raw this past week. And, you know, a lot of people have been kind of wondering what was Braun Breaker's direction, what were they going to do with Braun Breaker? And, well, this just goes to show you that the WWE really does have a plan. Because we were going to get a squash match with Braun Breaker facing a local competitor. And it ended up being possibly one of the greatest squash matches we've ever seen, just for the simple fact of how brutal Braun Breaker really was. So Justin, talk to me about that.
Listen, I'm trying to find his name now. It was Cale Dixon, which was a competitor. And I remember him from way back in the day, back in like the 205 Live days, back in the early like cruiserweight title shots, like years ago.
Yeah, during that Cruiserweight Classic, right? I think it was.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, he looked so familiar. But let's get to the main storyline, which is Braun Breaker.
Right.
I was one of the many people that was wondering what was going on with Braun Breaker ever since he left NXT. He didn't get put into the King of Ring tournament. I thought he would, do maybe one or two of these little squash matches and then get thrown into like a better storyline. Not necessarily in a title picture right now, but put him in a storyline. None of that seemed to happen. It seemed he got into squash match after squash match. We don't need him in those kinds of matches. We already know how dominant he can be. He damn near carried NXT during the 2.0 era. So we know how he is as a talent. But WWE always cooking something in the background, got him in a more annoyed stage, in a pissed off stage. What does he do? Not only does he spear this guy twice, and then proceeds to do probably one of the ugliest chair shots I've probably seen in some time with the stairs, with those steel stairs at that. And he's blaming Adam Pearce for it. He's saying basically his blood is in your hands because you didn't put me in King of the Ring and you're treating me like I'm some like second-class talent here when you know that this is the main guy on the roster. One of the main guys on the roster already. And I agree, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else happens because we talked about this last week. The good thing that NXT has started doing was that they were keeping talent longer to try to experiment with new things. We already seen how Braun Breaker works as a heel, So
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing this development further.
Yeah, and I love how they're putting him in a program seemingly already with Ricochet. And I absolutely just love that they are finally doing something with him. You know what I mean? And it makes sense. One of the things I like about Braun Breaker is his intensity, and how we talk about Ilya Dragunov's intensity, and I think that makes him so good on the mic. Braun Breaker just is intensity personified. And the fact that he is so good in the ring, on top of him being just an absolute powerhouse, he's got the look, he's got the physique, he's got the mic skills to be a top guy on the WWE. And I love the fact that he knows this and is actively very frustrated with the fact that, hey, I'm a top guy. Stop feeding me these amateurs and give me who I want. And now he's taking matters into his own hands. Now he's going to go out and fight Ricochet. He was going to get Ilya Dragunov before that. So I absolutely love the direction they're giving for Braun Breaker finally. I'm curious to see what this really means for Monday Night Raw. Is he going to insert himself into the Intercontinental title picture? Are they going to keep him just to feud with guys like Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov in the mid-card for now? Or is this just a launching point to a greater, maybe even a title shot? Because, man, he's looking like he wants to be ready.
I mean, I would love for after King of the Ring for him to be thrusted kind of somewhere in that IC title picture. Because when you really think about it, there's so many storylines that you can do with that. You can have him versus Chad Gable, and he pretty much takes out all of Alpha Academy. You got him versus Big Bronson Reed. Now imagine how that kind of a match would go. Two big dudes for that.
Here's my thing, though. With his character, the way he is right now, it's hard to picture him to not be a heel at this point. He seems like more of a heel right now than he is a babyface, and he really isn't. It doesn't seem to be like somewhere in the middle. This man is just. I mean, you see him going after baby faces. I just don't picture. I can't picture at this stage, Braun Breaker by now being a heel. He's just being a face right now. He's just not. Right now, he seems like a natural heel right now. I think as time goes by, he can turn into the babyface. He's already super over with the crowd.
Yep.
So I think people are starting to take a liking to him. I say get him over as a heel, have him feud with some baby faces in the mid card, like I said. Maybe a Ricochet. Hey, Rey Mysterio would be a great opportunity for him as well. So I think right now it's a good spot that Braun Breaker's in. Operate somewhere in that mid-card range. With that being said, though, King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring is this Saturday. I'm excited for this. We don't know, and we'll start our predictions out with Queen of the Ring. The Queen of the Ring final between Lyra Valkyria and the winner between tomorrow's fight. Well, when this is recorded, it's Wednesday, but in 2 days on Friday night's fight between Nia Jax and Bianca Belair. Now, originally, when I saw Io Sky versus Valkyria, I'm thinking to myself, well, Io Sky's got to be the girl to go to advance. You know what I mean? Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. That'd make for a great Queen of the Ring final. They decided to go with Lyra Valkyria, and I gotta say, I like the move, but I will say I don't know if it's her time yet. I don't know if Lyra Valkyria is already hit that level yet, but I think that they're really trying to build new stars here. So I'm not really mad at that at the end of the day. What I am mad at is that Nia Jax is probably going to win tonight, or not tonight, on Friday night, and she's going to advance. And I just don't know. I think Nia Jax being Queen of the Ring just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it's because she's so maybe it makes sense because she's so dominant. It's just when I think Queen of the Ring, I think somebody tactically sound, not tactically sound. Well, you know what? Who really cares? Technically sound. It to me, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe they really want to reward Nia Jax for her great work that she's done throughout the year. Ever since she came back, a lot of people were saying, hey, this girl is not worth keeping. Why do we have her here? And ever since then, she's proven everybody wrong between her mic skills and her in-ring work. I think Nia Jax has really turned the corner, and I guess I'll be spoiling it. Between Nia Jax and Bianca Belair, I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair. They're already teasing that little leg injury that can protect Bianca, and on top of that, Nia Jax against Lyra Valkyria. If you want to really cement Nia Jax as his dominant force, I think having her become Queen of the Ring is definitely a way to do so. And I think having it done against Lyra Valkyria, a very underdog-esque, somebody who would portray a good underdog against the big Lyra Valkyria, the big Nia Jax rather, I think it's a good move in my opinion. So as for the match between Nia Jax and Lyra Valkyria, I'm going to go with Nia Jax.
Well, I'm going to need you to get used to it because Nia Jax is my pick to become the Queen of the Ring as it stands right now. And that's for two main reasons. King and Queen of the Ring have been known historically and also presently to be launching pads for characters to try to get them at a higher level to the next level. In Lyra Valkyria's case, it's about making a statement because Lyra is the new kid on the block in the women's division in the WWE. Up until her reign as NXT Women's Champion, I'm pretty sure not a lot of people knew about Lyra Valkyria. Now, all of a sudden, everybody does. Now, is it way too soon to be pushing her to something like that kind of title? Absolutely. That's why I don't have her actually winning it. Bianca Belair, I don't have her winning this at all. She just became Women's Tag Team Champion. I think it's time to focus more on that and the potential feud with Jade Cargill and leave it said and done. But for Nia, I think she can follow in the steps of Booker T, of Zelina Vega, of Baron. What is it? What's his name? Wade Barrett.
Corbin. Oh, wait, King Barrett. You mean? Yeah.
Oh, Baron Corbin too. I forgot he was also a King of the Ring.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good prestigious. Yeah.
Those four have launched new character arcs for their King and Queen of the Ring victories. And yes, while the characters have not been the best, I will argue though King Booker was amazing because he did hold.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 25%, still better than 0, but they were still in entertaining and in championship matches during these times, or at least they were in that picture during the time. And I think that that's going to be the thing with Nia Jax. She's going to win Queen of the Ring, and all of a sudden that puts her right back in the women's world title picture.
Right, and another thing, I think Nia Jax deserves a world title run eventually. I think it's perfect that we are getting. I think it's perfect that Jade and Bianca are kind of going to be doing their own thing. It opens up the women's division over on that side. You do have Tiffany Stratton, you do have Naomi, but I think you do need a dominant heel like Nia Jax to really add some prestige. To really add to some prestige here in the women's division. Bayley is a great champion, but babyface champs should not be going that long unless you're like a Cody Rhodes where the road just makes sense. Bayley, I think her road has been long, but I think Nia Jax deserves to be the next woman up to really become a champion and really cement herself as a dominant force. I think, WWE has done a great job as protecting her against all the elite women. Against her only losses that I can think of have been against Rhea Ripley, have been against Becky Lynch, and I believe Liv Morgan is another one. And even Liv Morgan, and I think Liv Morgan, we'll get to that in a second. She's about to be rewarded for her work so far. So I think it's Nia Jax's time, and I think it starts at Queen of the Ring. Next up, we have. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
I was just gonna say I agree.
No, okay, yeah, absolutely. Next up, we have the King of the Ring final, man, and the King of the Ring final consists so far of Gunther, and then we have the winner between Friday night's, I would assume, main event, Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. First of all, I don't see Tama Tonga winning this whatsoever, especially after Gunther's win over Jey Uso. I love the unpredictability going into this final because I think a lot of people were genuinely thinking, hey, Jey Uso might beat Gunther because of the fact that Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga, the bloodline, that just makes sense. But I think they really want to capitalize on Gunther and his level of stardom so far. And Gunther is gonna go out against Randy Orton, no question about it, I would assume. And it's a match, it's definitely a dream match, 1000%. I don't know if Randy Orton and Gunther have faced off before in a singles match at all, but I think this might be the first time ever. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, but I believe it is. And I think it's a match that, you know, psychologically will just make for an amazing spectacle. I think Randy Orton right now is the best storyteller in the ring that we have so far in WWE. I don't think it's really a question. I know Cody Rhodes is definitely up there, but Randy Orton, just his in-ring psychology is just so amazing. And match that with Gunther's in-ring prowess and his ability to make a banger with anybody. I think that Gunther 1000% and Randy can put on an amazing match. And I think if you want to solidify Gunther, you have to have him go over. I think Gunther should win King of the Ring, have him go over against a Randy Orton. Randy Orton has not been pinned much, let me tell you. And I think this win would do wonders for Gunther as a star. I think this catapults him into the World Heavyweight Championship spot. My only thing is, from here, I'm a little confused what they're going to do with Gunther. I really am. Is he just going to be a King of the Ring and he's just going to be like challenging people and people are going to challenge him? Like, what exactly is this going to mean for Gunther and him being the King of the Ring? That's my only real issue. However, I could say that issue the same with Nia Jax because I do think Bayley is going to have a bit of a longer reign. So at the end of the day, I think Gunther, fresh off his IC title reign, this is a perfect way to pick him back up and really build him as this main event player.
And I completely agree with you. So just for preferences, just for spoiler alert, I do have Gunther winning it all. I've had him winning it all. I probably had Jey Uso like once in a while, but then once they had to face off in the semifinal match, I was just like, yeah, you're not gonna take this.
Nope.
It's just a matter of, like you said, what is gonna come after that, which I will talk to in a minute. But I want to focus more on the ramifications and how important this match is between both Gunther and Randy Orton, because I do think Randy Orton's going to take that semifinal win. Now, let's put it this way. Randy Orton, one of the most decorated superstars in our generation. He has won every single title. He's a Grand Slam champion. He's had Money in the Bank. He's won the Royal Rumble. But you know what's the one accolade he does not have in his 20-year history in WWE?
King of the Ring, right?
And how sweet would it be for your Hall of Fame induction if you were to notch that title and have pretty much everything you could possibly do in WWE? It would make for a first ballot Hall of Famer, even though he already is in this industry, but it's not going to happen. Why? Right. Because you got the Ring General on the other side of this match. And I found out this through social media. If you haven't noticed, his run at King of the Ring is very similar to that of Bret Hart. Somebody put in a whole theory behind this. And it's because when Bret Hart won the King of the Ring, he was specifically told, allegedly by Vince McMahon, by the people in the back, to win King of the Ring without using the sharpshooter. So Bret Hart had to get very creative with how he won, i.e. mostly roll-up pins. Gunther, on the other hand, because I don't know if you noticed, he doesn't really have much of a set finisher at this point. He has the power bomb. He has a whole bunch of things. He has like that flying slam, whatever you want to call it.
He has literally a clothesline, exactly. a chop. It could be anything.
Exactly. Now look at the ways that he has won so far. Single leg Boston Crab. He's won it on a Boston Crab. He beat Jey Uso with a rear naked choke. He's won with 3 different submissions that he has. Now we're going to see him possibly use a 4th one, if not win with one of the other ways that he has up his sleeve. And it's bringing like those 2 worlds together between the past and the present, which is why I think with the way that the WWE Universe loves Gunther as a dominant performer, with the way that he has been built ever since his run as the Intercontinental Champion, with the way he's been dominating this King of the Ring tournament, it makes 0 sense to take this away from him. Now, what's next? I mean, there's 2 rivalries you could put in there with him that I would love to see. Number 1, Ilya Dragunov. I've been saying it. I want this match. I know it has to just be a right time thing. I want Clash of the Castle, but that's just me. And also, if you want to put him with a former King of the Ring, Sheamus just came back. And we know Gunther and Sheamus can put on bangers together. I know you're looking at it like, I don't think so, but come on. It still makes great matches.
It makes great matches, but Sheamus and Gunther have matched up so many times. I just think that you got to put that to bed. Sheamus is never going to beat Gunther, I don't think. I just don't see a way for him to go over on Gunther at this point. And I feel like if a 4th match is going to happen, or not even 4th, a 4th singles match is going to happen, I just think Sheamus needs to go over. And right now, it's just not Sheamus's time. So, quite frankly, I'm not big on it, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I definitely think Ilya Dragunov is a guy that Ilya Dragunov is a guy that needs to feud with Gunther eventually. I think it's gonna happen 1000%. You don't need a title on the line. You don't. But this is gonna happen at Bash of Berlin. It needs to. The crowd is gonna be hot for the both of them. It just makes too much sense, man. It really does. So. With that being said, we can go ahead and move on unless there's one last thing you want to say, Justin.
Nope. I'm putting my stamp on it. Gunther wins the men's King of the Ring, and Nia Jax is the Queen of the Ring. You can clip this, and we will see after Saturday how that goes.
Yeah, Nia Jax and Gunther. You and me have similar picks so far. We're both in sync right now. All right. Next up, we have our Intercontinental Triple Threat match between Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, and Chad Gable. Justin, I'm going to have you go first. Who you got?
Oh, my gosh. So this just brings up a bunch of storylines. Let's just take the obvious pick out of this. Bronson Reed, as much as I love him, no Diddy, all that good stuff, he's not going to win this. The storyline was not meant for him to take that title. I think he needs a serious run at a title at some point, but now is not the time. So that leaves it to 2 people, Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. Chad Gable has been riling up his own team for so long now, calling them losers, slapping Otis around a few times, getting at Tozawa, like, dude, what are you doing? But then again, that's the heel character. He feels as though he needs to be champion. And guess what? Alpha Academy, you are here to do my bidding. Although it seems like he may be looking to trade up with the Creed brothers at some point, but we will see how that goes too. How I see it going is that he is going to try to rely on Alpha Academy to cheat to win so much that Sami Zayn, the wily veteran that he is still going to win, knowing that this is going to happen. And we are going to see the implosion of Chad Gable as a full-fledged heel because he's going to be stressed at the fact that he just can't beat Sami.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I also think the idea of Chad Gable of winning here, I really do. I think it would give Sami Zayn a very short reign, obviously, but Chad Gable winning here, in my opinion, it would just make sense. I think it could be the catalyst for maybe the Alpha Academy staying with them and their eventual implosion later on where they could say, hey, the Creed brothers are going to come in and just completely replace them. And Lord knows, I think the Creed brothers needs a bit of repackaging, considering the fact that they just have, one, a terrible theme song, and two, they don't really have much mic skills. So in my humble opinion, however, I just don't see them taking the belt off of Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia. They love Sami so much over there, man. They do, and he's gonna get the biggest pop over there, even over Cody Rhodes. So yeah, he is. So you literally cannot have Sami Zayn lose, and I think this is a great way to do it. I think a couple of stacked finishers on Bronson Reed, and that's how you protect Bronson Reed, and then Chad Gable doesn't get pinned. So it really makes sense for me that Sami Zayn wins here. However, I do want to say this. I don't know what the next pay-per-view is. I think it's Money in the Bank probably, or it might be Clash at the Castle, if you could go and correct me. At the very next pay-per-view, if we're going to have Sami Zayn and Chad Gable face off, Chad Gable needs to go over and he needs to win the Intercontinental Championship. Right now, he's so hot as a heel. He's doing so well. You heard the crowd this past Monday. They were chanting the "You Suck." They were doing the "You Suck" chant to Chad Gable. It was literally beautiful. This is exactly what all of us Angle fans that really want Gable to really carry on his legacy. This is exactly what we wanted from him. And it seems to be going into fruition.
So just for the fact checking, the next PLE afterwards is going to be Clash at the Castle, June 15th.
I don't think that's the place to do it. I think the place to do it is in Montreal. I think the place to do it is in Toronto in Money in the Bank.
Didn't I bring that up a couple of weeks ago? Please, let's re-roll the tape where I said, if you want to give Chad Gable the most heat possible, beat Sami Zayn in Canada.
Yeah, that absolutely no, yeah, and his heel turn happened in Canada, so that would really come full circle, and that's a good reign. I think that's a good reign for Sami. One more championship defense, maybe at a Clash at the Castle. But I would imagine Logan Paul's got to defend his U.S. title eventually. We'll get to that in just a second. But me personally, I think that Sami Zayn needs to go over, but Chad Gable is going to get rewarded. I think everybody who was really questioning what was going on, why Chad Gable just did not get his moment, I think now we're finally reaping the benefits, because you can't get Perk Gable as a babyface. You got to get him as a heel. And Perk Gable right now is living up to everything that we expected him to do. And if he has his own faction, man, it could get even better. So my personal prediction, Sami Zayn goes over here. He's going to pin Bronson Reed, and we're going to keep this Sami Zayn Chad Gable feud going.
And I completely agree with that. And if I end up being right that he is going to win in Canada during Money in the Bank,
no, yeah, I mean, I mean, man, here at the Fight Pit, we're all Nostradamus. We know exactly what the WWE wants to do, man. The WWE thinks that they're some gurus. No. We know exactly what you guys like. We know exactly how you guys operate, okay? Just because Vince McMahon left does not mean that we don't know how you guys operate, let me tell you. But with that being said, we're going to move on to our next matchup. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. Let me just go ahead and say, excuse me while I clear my eyes out. Oh my goodness. All right, so Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship. I'm going to be very complacent with you guys here. I don't like either women going into this match. I don't. I'm not a big fan. I think Liv Morgan is going to win. I think it's going to happen here. You can't have her lose another big match again. I know she's a heel right now, and everybody wants to see her lose, and everybody likes seeing the heels lose, but Liv Morgan has to go over here. My only thing is that Liv Morgan as a heel is still so robotic on the mic. Like, she does not move me on the mic, Justin. She doesn't. No matter what she does, I don't know what it is. She does not move me. She sounds monotonous. She doesn't sound very convincing. I want to mute the television. That's how bad she is. Like, it's nothing personal against Liv. As an in-ring performer, she has gotten so much better, and she's put on banger after banger after banger. Word to Sheamus. But as a as an entertainer, as a mic worker, she just doesn't cut it for me. And unfortunately, her heel actions have kind of masked that little area. She's just kind of doing small heel things like leaving the ring while Damage Control attacks Becky, attacking Becky from behind, talking crap about Becky from behind. She does those heel things that a lot of people like, but I just don't like her on the microphone at all. And that's kind of why it's like, oh my gosh, no wonder WWE doesn't pull the trigger on this girl. Like for real. So I know all the Liv stands like really like her. I don't know what you guys see in her. Her in the ring, I get it, but like it just for me, I genuinely think Dakota Kai is exactly what everybody thinks Liv Morgan is. I think Dakota Kai has everything and more that Liv Morgan has. So, but unfortunately, they just haven't built up Dakota Kai to be that girl. So. Look, Liv Morgan is going to win the championship. As for Becky Lynch, I mean, I would expect her to go back on her hiatus after this. She was supposed to be gone for a very long time, and she came back because, well, hello, duty calls. And I just think right now, it's rough for the Raw Women's division right now, man. It really is. I'm not a big fan of it. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. And I know, as somebody who is a Liv Morgan fan, and it's mainly because when she debuted, she kind of had the whole Harley Quinn theme going. Suicide Squad was coming out. I've been a fan ever since. She's meant to win the women's title right now. She is meant to do that. She is meant to continue the whole thing with the Judgment Day. So we already know that is the storyline that is going on. What she has been great at recently and what WWE has been great at doing with helping her is that while she does struggle on the mic, she is doing those little things in the background that are heel tendencies, whether it's leaving the ring when somebody else is getting jumped, which every heel does, to all of these little background tidbits that we're getting during the interview segments, to her getting out of a car with Finn Balor, which that needs to be discussed because now that just takes a whole turn with the whole Dom Mysterio thing and is now pointing at possibly Finn being
we're talking about the entire Judgment Day. It's really genius what they're doing with her. And I love this era where everybody doesn't miss anything. You're seeing these things. So
you see these things, social media sees them.
Yeah, like it's great.
And they know that works. Like they know, so they put it out there because it gets fans talking. You got the big wigs over on TikTok, all the big wrestling creators talking about it. You get us here in House Call doing full-length episodes about things like this, diving into these things. They know what is working. And like I said, it raises a lot of questions because now that brings up more questions because Liv had the whole purple bandana thing going on. You know who used to also wear a purple bandana in Judgment Day? And Dom. So it's like, where are we going from here? So it makes you want to keep watching. But this is what's going to happen. Liv is going to win. She's going to keep on the storyline with Judgment Day. Becky will lose. And yes, she will keep going on her hiatus. But then that does, like you said, leave a void on the Raw women's roster because then we need ideally a face if you're trying to make Liv a heel full time as a champion, or if you're gonna keep towing the line of Liv being this anti-hero kind of Deadpool-ish kind of character. Well, then we need a heel that can actually be a heel. And I think anybody from Damage Control could actually make it work. But I think we need more talent on the Raw women's roster.
We do, because quite frankly, I'm not sold on anybody really having a good run. And Rhea Ripley did really carry that roster, man. She really did. Like, she made that roster look way better than it really was. She really was a generational talent that we really didn't appreciate. Now that she's gone, man, it's looking like Liv Morgan. It's looking like, Liv Morgan is really gonna hone in, and she's coming back. Guys, it's happening. Rhea Ripley's coming back as a babyface. She has to. She literally is too popular. She's too over. Like it's just not happening. Liv Morgan's a heel now. Like Rhea Ripley's coming back, and she's coming back as a babyface. And I don't know exactly how it's gonna operate, but I just think that right now Liv Morgan deserves her title that she's about to get because she's worked hard for it. However, when Rhea Ripley comes back, you give her back the title because Liv Morgan just does not have the star power that Rhea Ripley has. Rhea Ripley has been more dominant throughout the past like year, so it just needs it. I love Liv Morgan. No, I don't love Liv Morgan. I like how she has portrayed herself as a heel lately, aside from her mic work. But I gotta be honest, when Rhea Ripley comes back, drop the title. Like I don't want to see her with the title. I don't. Not even the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour can get me this invested. So Raw needs help in the women's division. Let me tell you, they do.
They really do. And that's why I was really pushing for like a Roxanne Perez to be drafted into Raw, because then you have somebody that is a heel character by trade, because she does a lot better as a heel than she did as a face. I love heel Roxanne.
Here's my thing about Roxanne though, is like, and here's evidently the problem with Roxanne. She is not convincing at all as a heel either. Like she tries too hard, and I like Roxanne as an in-ring performer, but as a heel, it's like she's trying to portray something that she's not. Like I don't know what it is. It's the same problem with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, that's why they need her doing the small things, because Liv Morgan as a heel does not sound very convincing. She doesn't even sound convincing as a face. Roxanne Perez, in my humble opinion, just fits too much as the babyface underdog for me to be convinced that she's this dominant heel champ. I'm sorry. You're not fooling anybody by doing that. You're not.
Okay, so if we're gonna bring a ultimate heel into WWE, we need to give AJ Lee a call. We need to just throw a bag at her to come back.
I'm telling you, Raw is literally in shambles in terms of the women's division, man. They're trying to build up stars. Lyra Valkyria, I think is a great star to really start with. But bro, like
she's a face.
But other than that, she's a face. And Damage Control right now, they got 3 girls and 4 evidently that I think Asuka needs to come out back and become a babyface when she comes back. I think Kairi Sane needs to branch out as well. I think Damage Control, they might need to break up Damage Control just because the Raw women's division is so depleted right now with the lack of star power. Excuse me. That they need to do something, because right now Liv Morgan's about to be the face of your women's division. Becky Lynch is probably going to take another hiatus. You have nobody to go in there and really face Becky Lynch and make it convincing other than Lyra Valkyria, and we're not going to give her the title already. So it's a problem in Raw that I don't think a lot of people are talking about.
No, they are not talking about it. See, if you pull out the current list of women in Raw right now, the only one I could think of that would put up a good PLE match with Liv and a decent storyline, I guess, would be Io. But the problem is Io on the mic is not going to work. She does great with the vignettes, like the same way they do with Nakamura.
Right.
But like mic to mic, her and Liv, I don't know if I could watch that. I don't know.
As a viewer, you can't. They made it work with Nakamura. They did, because Nakamura is that, and he's that like talented. But the fact is that you're not going to get that with everybody. At this point, you're just like copying. So I don't think you should at all. Overall, I think Liv's going to go over here. But I would be shocked if they decided to keep the belt on Becky. I don't think it's the right move at all, having her lose again. So just have Liv Morgan go over, and then I think they're gonna have to try to figure something out eventually.
They're gonna focus more on that Judgment Day storyline.
Yeah, they have to. It's the only thing that they really got going for them. Next up, however, and this will be the final thing that we talk about before we close it off, the main event of King and Queen of the Ring, presumably, Cody Rhodes the undisputed champion versus Logan Paul, the United States champion. Let's call a spade a spade. It's going to be an easy prediction. Cody Rhodes is winning. So I don't think this is going to be a shock. But Justin, go ahead and break it down.
This was not the match that I wanted.
Nope.
I think I would have rather Cody Rhodes just taken this PLE off and just not do this at all. First of all, the storyline makes no sense. It feels like it just got thrown in there. Yes, it just so happens that Cody Rhodes has never won the United States title. But guess what? The U.S. title ain't up for grabs on this one. Meanwhile, you got Logan Paul with his second attempt at getting the Universal title. He had one shot against Roman, and now he's getting one against Cody. Do I think Cody and Logan could put together a good match? Talented competitors. But the thing is, who asked for this match? Who wanted this match? Who wanted it for the Universal title at that? I would much rather have Cody take this off and Logan put his U.S. title on the line. And we've been saying it forever that LA Knight needed that title and needs that title run. But instead, the higher ups of the WWE, which not to say because of where King of the Ring is taking place, but I'm gonna call spade a spade. Every time they do these PLEs overseas, primarily in Saudi Arabia, they always throw together this random assortment of matches because they are trying to get the biggest names possible on the card. And that's what I feel like this match was. It was just simply, we are in Saudi Arabia for King and Queen of the Ring. We want our Universal Champion in this card somewhere. So we're just going to throw together an even bigger star and a more bigger name online in Logan Paul and see what sticks. And that's pretty much what I'm getting from this.
Well, I do agree with you that Logan Paul probably shouldn't deserve an opportunity like this. However, I think that Logan Paul is just so box office as a draw that, yeah, you know what? He's gonna get his title match in Saudi Arabia. However, I will say this. We're not going to sit here and act like these last 2 weeks have not been very entertaining. They have. I think Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes have done a good job with their 2 weeks, and evidently for their third week here, they're gonna have another segment. I would imagine, and I just think that Cody Rhodes is just, he doesn't want to miss a day. He really doesn't want to miss a PLE. He really wants to stay. And he wants to prove that he's a workhorse champion. He wants to prove that he's the opposite of Roman Reigns. So how do you do that? You're in every PLE, every live event, everything, okay? You're doing everything right now. So that's kind of why. And also, Cody Rhodes is a draw, man. He is. Cody Rhodes is a draw. Logan Paul is a draw. You put them in the main event of Saudi Arabia. I will say this. And I wish Ollie was here. I wish Caleb was here to discuss this with you, Justin. I think now is the time, after this match is over, I think now is the time to debut Uncle Howdy. I think here it is. I think this is, I know. Saudi Arabia, are you kidding me? Hear me out. Look, they have been teasing this for way too damn long. It's, at this point, he's dragging out. It's going to happen here. It's going to happen at Saudi Arabia. I wish it was in France because France would have gone crazy for it. However, I feel like this has been going on for so long. They need to bring something into this. And I feel like the best way to make yourself known is by attacking the WWE Undisputed Champion and Logan Paul. Don't just go after Cody Rhodes. Go after Logan Paul. Keep your eeriness. I think right now, it's not about the match. I think the match is easy to predict. Cody Rhodes is winning. We can all, and it's going to be a banger of a match. Okay, let's make that let's make that very clear. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think this main event can be a perfect spot, Justin, a perfect one to debut the Uncle Howdy character, the Uncle Howdy faction, and really just at the end of the pay-per-view have them PLE rather have them stand tall and have it just cut to black. And all of a sudden, that's the end of your PLE, historic PLE. There you go. I think that right there can make this main event interesting. Just keep the eeriness, just to keep the mysteriousness as well of the Uncle Howdy character. I think, yes, is it in Saudi Arabia? Will it get a big crowd reaction? I would hope so.
Saudi Arabia would be lit. Their crowds be lit.
I would hope that they'll be lit for this. I think that this is the great spot. This is a great spot to debut the Uncle Howdy character after the match. What do you think?
So I completely agree with you. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. Ali brought it up that in one of the source codes for one of the QR codes, if you look at the source, it has in Roman numerals the exact date of King and Queen of the Ring. So it does hint at the fact that this may be the time that they finally release Uncle Howdy and we finally see him. But I want to know how it's going to happen. Are you going to go the route of what was the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, which is basically cut the lights off, spotlights, because I think they're going to show the entire faction, which they've been calling like the Wyatt Six and all of that. But it could go this one way where it's just spotlights everywhere and then finally a spotlight on Uncle Howdy. Primarily probably going to be behind Cody Rhodes and then hit him with a Sister Abigail? Or are you going to go in a whole new direction with this faction, make them more destructive, kind of pull a Nexus move and destroy everything from Logan to Cody to the ring to the tables, everything, leave nothing in place. So it's going to be very interesting to see, and it's going to show us what this new faction is possibly capable of. And I'm excited to see the whole list of them because I heard so many people associated with this, from Dexter Lumis being in this, to Nikki Cross, to obviously Bo Dallas, because Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. Sorry to all the little kids that are watching this that didn't know that. But that is true, and Santa Claus is not real. I am sorry to ruin your childhood.
You're so messed up. Leave the kids alone. Leave the kids alone, Justin.
But it's going to be interesting to see how that happens, because then that's going to tell us where the storyline is going to go from there.
Right. I think just the eeriness, again, I hate to keep overusing that word, but the mysteriousness of this Uncle Howdy character needs to stay intact. Attacking Logan Paul, attacking Cody Rhodes gets so many eyes on that character and gets people invested. So I think if you're going to debut a character at Saudi Arabia, I think our Uncle Howdy is a perfect spot to do so. With that being said,
alone.
Yeah. Oh, please, for God's sake.
In Saudi Arabia, do not do the pig mask.
Oh, please don't. Oh God, jeez, that'll go over terribly for them. All right. Well, with that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this brand new episode of the WWE Fight Pit, episode 6. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment down below. What do you think is going to happen at King and Queen of the Ring? And what do you think of everything that's going on about WWE? If you have questions, go ahead and ask us. With that being said, we love you guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.